welcome back to my channel. My name is Darian and welcome to week 3 of the magical readathon. So if you watched the other vlogs that I've been doing in the month of April, I am currently participating in the magical readathon hosted by G from Book Roast. So far I've completed 2 books this month, but only 1 counted for the magical readathon so far. And the book I'm currently reading also does not count for the magical readathon, so we're doing great. But that book is Sunrise on the Reaping by Susan Collins. Everyone and their mother has either already read this or is currently reading it or will be reading it in the next couple days probably. But I am a little more than halfway through now. I'm on I just got to part 3, so I'm on chapter 19, page 257. And today's Thursday, by the way, so I'm starting this vlog a little late, but I've just been in a really weird space lately. My mental health has not been doing great. I've been feeling very anxious, particularly regarding work. There's just been a lot of stuff going on that has me really stressed out. So I've been struggling with that a little bit, but I do have a 4-day weekend now because it is the Easter weekend. And during that 4-day weekend, I'm doing a 24 and 48 hour readathon with some of my friends. So I'm hoping to get a lot of reading done this weekend, and I'm hoping to just relax and try not to think about work. I also have a scary work-related thing happening next week. I don't really want to talk about what it is exactly. I don't know if I will, but if I do, I'll probably wait until it's done. But I'm very nervous about it, so hopefully this weekend I don't think about it too much because I don't want to waste my weekend off worrying about that or worrying about anything about work specifically. So hoping to get a lot of reading done this weekend. It should be a nice chill vlog. And it is Easter weekend. I don't really celebrate Easter, but it's an excuse to get together with my family and eat lots of food. So that's what we're doing. But anyways, Sunrise on the Reaping. I am scared. I am scared to talk about this book because I came to the realization as I was reading this last night that I'm having problems with this book. And the thing is that everyone is giving this book 5 stars. Everyone is saying, well, not everyone, but I've seen a lot of people say that this is their new favorite Hunger Games book. So yeah, I'm not disliking it by any means. I don't think it's a bad book. And I definitely don't think it's as bad as, what is it called? Tobosus? The ballad Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I don't think that was necessarily a bad book. It was just I didn't think it needed to exist. Does this book need to exist? I hate to say it, but this is not really the story I wanted, and I'm really upset about it. I was so excited to hear that we were getting a book about Haymitch's games, and it feels so forced to me. I find the writing feels so clunky, and I don't know, I feel like I just expect more from Suzanne Collins, and we know that she writes books when she has something to say. And so it does not surprise me that she wrote this amidst everything going on in the world, but I thought it would have more to say than it's saying, and I thought, I don't know how to explain it without really going into detail, but the writing just isn't working for me. I'm finding it so clunky, so disjointed, and everything feels very shoehorned in. First of all, we're getting so many cameos of characters from the original trilogy, and I'm in some instances it makes sense, obviously, but there's a few that have showed up and I'm this feels so forced. She just wanted people to be oh my god, look, it's this person. There's some people that it just takes me out of the story almost, because I'm oh yeah, I remember them, yep, there they are. I don't really like that she's doing that. I wish we had more new characters. And also, like, this is such a small thing, but the amount of times the word rascal is used in this book. Haymitch is just a little rascal. He's a rascally rascal. He keeps being like, I'm just a little rascal, and everyone's like, look at this rascal. Like, it is way too much. I don't know. Like, I'm not disliking it. I think right now it's sitting at, I don't know. It's hard because if this was any other book, it would probably be sitting at like a 3.5. But because it's Hunger Games, like, it might be a 4, just because, like, I love this world so much. But this is not holding up to the original trilogy, in my opinion. And right now, I don't find that it's saying anything that, like, needed to be said that we didn't get from the original trilogy, if that makes sense. And also, like, everybody sobs at the end of this book, and I'm fairly certain I know what's going to happen. I mean, obviously we know how the games end. We know who wins. Because we just do. If you've read the original trilogy, you know who wins. And I feel like I can almost guarantee that I know what happens after that. And so it's gonna be sad because everybody sobs at the end of this book. But I don't know. Nothing is surprising me. Like, if I wasn't already attached to this world, this book just doesn't really stand on its own, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And, like, obviously a prequel is for the fans of the original series, but I feel like it also has to stand on its own. And that's not to say that it could be read on its own, but it's the same way that a sequel, like, yes, it relies on the first book because it's literally a continuation, but it still has to stand on its own. Does that make any sense? I don't know. I'm just not super impressed, and I'm a little disappointed. And I know I'm gonna get canceled because people are so ride or die about the series. And, like, I am too. I love the original trilogy so much, and I love the movies. I really think that this will work better as a movie. Like, I think I will like the story better. I did prefer the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes movie over the book. I still thought the movie wasn't that good, but, like, I just thought that story was kind of boring, and honestly, I'm finding this kind of boring too. I'm sorry to start off the vlog this way. I feel like I'm gonna get hate for this, but I'm living my truth. Okay, the sun is going down, so that's probably means it's time for me to stop talking. But yes, I'm sorry for upsetting you all right at the beginning of the vlog. But I'm probably gonna read more of this tonight. I'm hoping to finish this at least by tomorrow and then start something new on Saturday when we do the 24 and 48 hour readathon, because I would love to start that with, like, a new book. And also in this vlog, I need to start reading Return of the King by J.R.R. Tolkien, obviously, which is the third Lord of the Rings book, because we have our live show on May 3rd, I think. And the audiobooks, I've been listening to the audiobooks because Andy Serkis narrates them. And the audiobooks are great, highly recommend, but they're very long. So I need to start that soon because the past 2 books, I've been reading like half of it in one day, like the day before the live show. So I'm hoping not to do that this time. But yeah, welcome to the vlog. So sorry for that rude awakening. Maybe it'll get better. Maybe I'll like it more. Who knows? But I don't have high hopes. It's not bad, okay? I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not what I hoped for. Okay, see you later. trying to remember when the last time I updated was. I think it was Thursday or Friday, but it is Sunday. It is Easter. Happy Easter. I'm so tired. I haven't been great at vlogging the past few days because, like I mentioned the other day, I have been doing a readathon with some of my friends, and like the readathon was supposed to be like a 24 in 48 hour thing. It was very chill, and then my friend Yane just like took it to a whole other level. She made this whole like storyline for the readathon. She made a bunch of graphics, and she made a bunch of prompts too for it. So like she's just brought our readathon like on a whole other level. So I've been taking it like way more seriously, but it's been so much fun to be able to like sprint with my friends and talk about what we're reading and everything. So I have been getting a decent amount of reading done. So I did end up finishing Sunrise on the Reaping. I finished it on Friday, I think, and my thoughts didn't really change about it for the rest of the book. I ended up giving it 3 stars. I know that's like blasphemy. I know everyone's gonna come for me. Listen, I've accepted this. I just didn't love it. I didn't think the writing was honestly that good. It annoyed me so much the amount of times we use the word rascal. Like, we get it. Hamish is a rascal. We get it. All the cameos bother me. And some of them, like, I definitely understand the purpose of some of them, but we didn't need all of them. We didn't need all of them. So that bothered me. I really didn't care about, like, the deaths happening in the games. Like, I cared, but I feel like I cared way more in the Hunger Games series. And so every time a death happened in the games, I don't know, like, obviously it was sad. I don't want to sound like I didn't think it was sad, because obviously it's sad, but I didn't feel connected to any of the characters to like take everything seriously. And also I feel like the deaths just happened so fast and we just kind of breezed by them, and like weird things were happening. I don't know, like I just didn't care. I didn't care. And then there's the ending of the book, which I actually think was the best part of the book. I thought the ending was like actually really well written, and I wish that the writing at the end of the book was more like what we would have seen in the rest of the book. Obviously the ending is very sad, like there's no doubt about it. I know I sound heartless right now, but it was very sad. I did not cry because it just didn't affect me emotionally like I wanted it to. And I mean, I think we all saw it coming, did we? I did. So I don't know. I didn't love it. I think the original trilogy is much better. I did prefer this over Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, so that's good. But yeah, I didn't love it. I thought it was fine. I feel like I can't give it below 3 stars because it's just like objectively better than Ballad. And technically I never rated that because I didn't technically finish it. I just stopped reading it with like a few chapters left. But yeah, this book is better than Ballad, so at least there's that. But I don't know, it just felt like everything felt so heavy-handed. It felt more like she was trying to force this message onto us instead of just like trusting that the reader will figure it out. But maybe she doesn't trust the reader, and I can understand that. Like, I understand thinking that this would go way over some people's heads, because it probably does. You know, if you know, you know. So anyways, me personally, I didn't love it. I know I'm in the minority, so you can yell at me all you want, but I didn't love it. And yeah, so I moved on from that and I picked up another book. So like I've mentioned, that book was not for the Magical Readathon. I read it for the cover challenge, the Buzzword cover challenge for April. But the next book I picked up is for the Magical Readathon, and that is The Berry Pickers by Amanda Peters. Now, hear me out. Because I am using this for the prompt to read a book with fruit on the cover, and I feel like most people know the other cover of this book with like very obvious blueberries on the cover. I think you could argue that the white like circles, you know, the white circles, I think you could argue that those are meant to be blueberries. And if you don't think so, the word berry is on the cover, so I think we can count it. I'm counting it. Whatever, I'm counting it. I don't think it counts for any of the other, well, it does count for my 25 and 25 challenge. I don't know what I'm gonna use it for yet, but there's a few things I could count for, so that's good. But this is a very quick read. I started it yesterday and I'm already over halfway through. I mean, I have been reading a lot because we're doing our little readathon. So I'm on page 196, and I think there's like almost exactly 300 pages in this book. So I don't know if I'll finish it today. It is already like 3:30, and since it's Easter, we have my brother and his girlfriend are coming over for dinner. So I don't know if I'll finish it today, but definitely tomorrow if I don't finish it today. I am flying through this book. I'm really enjoying it. You're following the perspective of two characters. There's Joe and Norma. And Joe, when he was 6 years old, I think, he is okay, wait. Let me set the scene. He lives with his family who are indigenous in Nova Scotia, in like the 1960s, I think, and they are Mi'kmaq, and every summer they go down to Maine and get work as berry pickers. And so one summer they go to Maine. Joe is 6. His little sister Ruthie is 4. One day he's on the beach with her and he goes to do something. She wanders off. She disappears. They never find her. And so that obviously impacts the family a lot. She was the youngest child and she disappeared without a trace. There's no leads. Like, they never found a body or anything. No one knows what happened to her. Then we're following Norma. And ever since Norma was a little girl, she has had these weird dreams of people that in her dreams they're her family, but they're not her real family. And every time she brings these dreams up to her parents, they just are like, oh, it's just dreams, like, let's not talk about it. She's also noticed she's always been darker than her parents. And also, weirdly, there are no family photos that include her from before she was 4 years old. You see where we're going? So, and like the excuse is that they, all the pictures burned in a fire, and whatever. So we follow Norma, who is growing up and has always felt like something is missing. These dreams kind of come back to her throughout her life. We're following both Joe and Norma throughout their life, how this little girl's disappearance affects both of their lives. And I just really love the way it's written so far. I love like a family drama book following certain characters throughout their whole lives. I love a book like that. And I just think it's really well written. And I love that a lot of it takes place in Canada. And yeah, I'm really liking it so far. I will say there's a lot of like really random, I don't even know if I would call them fat phobic comments. It's just that they just point out whenever a character is fat, but it's almost written as a bad thing. So I would keep that in mind. Like, that's probably the one thing that's keeping this from being a 5-star, because it just feels so random. Like, there'll just be a character and they're like, they were old and fat. And I'm like, okay. Like, I don't know. It just keeps happening. And I'm like, that's weird to mention, but all right. But other than that, I'm really loving it. I'm flying through it. I definitely think it's really engaging. I think I do like Norma's perspective more than Joe's. But it's definitely very interesting. I really, really like it. So those are my reading updates. Aside from reading, I haven't been doing much. I've been just trying to enjoy my long weekend. This is the first Sunday that I haven't worked in a really long time, aside from like being sick. So I'm very happy to have it off. I have another day off tomorrow. So very excited about that, and excited to see my brother and his girlfriend later. And I'm gonna go try to read a bit more before they get here. And then, I don't know if I'll read more tonight. I don't know. I have a feeling I won't finish The Berry Pickers today. I'll probably finish it tomorrow, but we'll see. But this little readathon we're doing is going very well. I'm having a blast. Definitely the most I've read in a while, so that's fun. But yeah, I figured I was due for an update, so I'm gonna go hopefully eat chocolate, and I'll see you guys later. We're just gonna ignore how I look right now, okay? Obviously, I just took a shower. It is not my best look. But hi, it's been quite a while. I think the last time I updated was last Saturday, and it is Friday today of the next week. So obviously what I have decided is I'm going to combine the last 2 weeks of the Magical Readathon into one vlog for several different reasons. Honestly, this week has been it has been rough, but like there was just so much going on. I kept mentioning this thing that was happening the other day, and like it just took up all my brain space. It was literally all I could think about. So I wasn't reading very much, and I really did not feel like talking in front of the camera because I was just so anxious about this thing. I don't really want to go into detail about what it was exactly, but it involved public speaking, which, as you can imagine, I love so much. So I was very stressed about it, but I did do it. That was Wednesday, I think, 2 days ago. And I think it went well. I mean, it's done now, but I actually felt okay about it, which like never happens. But yeah, I think it went well. And I'm happy it's over. And now I can stress about other things. So yeah, that's kind of where I've been the past few days. And I figured it would be better to combine these vlogs because I felt like if I just left last week's vlog as it would just be kind of a mess because I didn't update very often, and I was just very stressed and I didn't really read much. So we're going to combine these last 2 weeks. So hopefully that's okay with you guys. But hi. So I do have a few reading updates. So like I mentioned in the last update, I did my like 24 and 48 hour readathon with my friends, which turned into more of a like a lot of us started reading for it on Friday instead of Saturday. So it wasn't really 24 and 48 hours. It was more like read as much as you can during the weekend. I don't know. I did really enjoy my long weekend. It was very nice to have that time off. And I had a pretty successful readathon. I already talked about how I finished Sunrise. And I ended up finishing The Berry Pickers by Amanda Peters, and I gave this 4.25 stars, I think. I really enjoyed this. I read this in 2 days. I started it Saturday, finished it Sunday. This was such a quick read, and I'm really glad I finally read this because I've heard a lot of really good things about this book, and I ended up really enjoying it. I thought the writing style was just like so easy to read, so easy to fall into. I cared about the characters right away. I think I did prefer Norma's perspective to Joe's, but nevertheless, I still really enjoyed it. I think my only problem was what I mentioned last time was that the random like fat phobic comments was just really weird, and I don't know why we had to keep pointing out that people were fat. I don't know. Like obviously fat is an adjective, so it's okay to describe someone that way, but like the way it was written, it felt more like a look at this fat person, you know what I mean? So that was kind of weird, but other than that, I really enjoyed it, and I would recommend if you've been eyeing this book. Yeah, so I read that for the prompt for the magical readathon for the fruit on the cover. Did we already go through this? How I'm just assuming that the white circles are blueberries because the other cover has blueberries, like they're very clearly blueberries. So I'm counting it. The word berry, I think we did talk about this. So yeah. So then, well, I actually have 2 books that I started since then. So I finally started reading Return of the King by J.R.R. Tolkien, John Ronald, as I like to call him. So I'm reading that for the Middle-earth read-along. Is that what we're calling it? Which is hosted by Erin. We've been reading all the Middle-earth books, starting with The Hobbit since January, and this is our last one. And I've listened to all the audiobooks for these books because they're narrated by Andy Serkis, and obviously he's amazing at voice acting. So yeah, I am like 35% of the way through, I think, and I'm definitely enjoying this more than I did The Two Towers. If you don't know, if you haven't been watching the live shows, I gave The Two Towers 3 stars. My favorite book so far has been Fellowship, but I don't know, we'll see. I mean, my favorite movie, I think, is Return of the King. It's hard. I love Fellowship and Return of the King so much, and Two Towers is like still amazing, obviously, but that movie has always been my least favorite, and the book was my least favorite. So we'll see how Return of the King goes, but that, finally started that, and I'm using that for the prompt to read a book I was already planning on reading, because I was already planning on reading it for this readathon, or read-along. So yeah, so I started reading that, and then I also started, the book is downstairs, but I started reading Blood Over Bright Haven, which I am reading for, okay, I'm reading that for the color wheel prompt, because remember when I got red? We all remember that. And I'd say red is the, like, primary color of this cover. I know it's, like, mostly black. If you want to talk about percentage, it's probably mostly black, but, like, I feel like red is, like, the color that stands out, you know? Whatever, I'm using it. And I'm also using it for my year in Eldia prompt, which if you don't know what that is, it's kind of like another part of the magical readathon, but like they're separate things. You don't have to do one. You can do one without doing the other. If you check out G's if you check out G's channel, like you can find all this information because I don't know how to explain it, but basically it's a year-long reading challenge where every month you have a different prompt depending on like the path you choose, because it looks kind of like a board game. Anyways, my prompt for this month is to read a book with an author with a W in the title, which turned out to be harder than I thought. I wanted to use a book that would fit that and a magical readathon prompt. All that to say, I'm using Blood Over Brighthaven to complete both those prompts. So I'm about 100 pages through, I think. I don't know how to describe this book. You're following the main character, what's her name? Her name starts with an S. Sayona? Something like that. And she is a mage, and she really wants to go to this academy for mages or magicians, I guess. And no woman has ever been allowed into this academy before because women, am I right? There's no way they could do magic. So she like takes this test to see if she will be accepted, because they let one woman every 10 years to take a test, the like admissions test. Isn't that fun? So she takes the test and lo and behold, she is accepted. So she is going to study at the school or work at the school. Honestly, my focus has not been great the past few days since that event that I did the other day. So I'm hoping to kind of get my bearings the more I read this book. But basically she's at this academy now, and she's only working with men, and a lot of them are very sexist and stupid and annoying. And honestly, she's not very likable. Like, obviously, I am rooting for her because she is the first woman to ever be accepted into this academy, but she's not a very likable person. She's not very nice, but I'm hoping she kind of goes through a change throughout the book to become a better person, because I want to root for her, obviously. But sometimes she says things and I'm like, girl, you need to chill. Anyway, so the magic system is really interesting in this book. I will say, I have no idea how to explain it, but it's kind of like if an Excel spreadsheet was the magic system. Does that make sense? Like, you kind of like enter these rules and then the magic like follows the rules. Like, you enter it in sort of like a typewriter thing, and then the magic kind of just performs whatever you entered. I don't know how to explain it, but it's very cool, and I'm excited to learn more about it.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
So basically, I'm enjoying it so far. I just kind of have to like lock in and really pay attention, because my brain has just been all over the place lately. So I'm excited to keep reading this. So those are all my reading updates. Welcome back to this vlog. I mean, for you, it hasn't been much time, but I haven't filmed an update. I don't think I've barely filmed any B-roll. Like, I was just so checked out. The only thing on my mind was this thing I was speaking at, and oh my god, it was stressful. But I did it, and that's what matters. So anyways, we're back. There's still a few days left of the month. What's today? 25th? There's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days left of the month. I have to finish these 2 books and another book to complete my magical readathon TBR. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but we'll see, I guess. So yeah, those are all my updates. In terms of like life stuff, today's a exciting day because first of all, it's so nice out, and like it's only like 14 degrees or something, so it's not that warm, but I'm in a shorts and t-shirt. I think just because it's been cold for so long, it feels like a summer's day now. So I'm excited to go for a walk after. I have to pick up some holds at the library. And then tonight is very exciting because me and Sean are going to see Mean Girls tonight, the musical. Oh my god, I'm so excited because my friend, their sister, is the stage manager for like the touring company. And she was able to get us free tickets. And the seats are like, I thought she would stick us in the back, which I would be so grateful for, because if they're free, like I'll sit outside if you want me to. Like if it's free, I would do anything, but they're like really amazing seats. I kind of can't believe it. So I'm so excited for that. So that's later tonight. And then tomorrow is indie bookstore day. So I'm going to go to my indie bookstore. Might have to buy some books, but I'm just supporting. I'm supporting them. I'm doing a good thing. So yeah, those are all my updates. So sorry if this vlog is a bit of a mess, but hopefully we're back. I'm definitely feeling better mentally now that that thing is done, and it's gonna be a good weekend, I think. So yeah, we're gonna go eat some lunch and then probably go for a walk, and we're gonna have a fun day.